Hi friends, it's Claire from ScrappyNerdUK and welcome to part 2 of my mammoth layout share. So let's kick off with this layout. So this I did on a National Scrapbooking Day weekend, whatever that was, and the challenge was to incorporate paper folding on your layout. So I've done a few different things with paper folding, with stars and hearts and strawberries, I think, but I was having a look to see what different paper folding techniques are out there, and I saw this dress and I thought, and it was one of the little origami ones, and I thought I'm just going to supersize it. So I made it using, I think it was a 10 by 10 bit of pattern paper, and I just love how this one turned out. I had a little bit of ribbon across there as a sash, and then just sprinkled my bits down between my photos, and use this area to add my title as well. Again, getting some more of those Disney photos scrapped. So that's that one. Then this one here was, I think, another National Scrapbooking Day one. And this one I used up Sparkle City again. Just trying to get that collection bashed as much as I can. I've still got a fair bit left. This one is about a car picnic. So whenever we go over to France, we always go to Carrefour in City Europe, and we go and buy rolls and some butter and some ham and some brie. And then when we are in the Euro tunnel coming back, we take a chopping board and a knife with us. We have our little car picnic. So I just wanted to document that, and again I've dated the back, so that was June last year. So that one. This one here I used a heart cut file, and I think again this was an NSD challenge to use as many hearts as possible, I think. So I had this heart cut file that my friend Georgia kindly cut out for me. She's Ramblings of Geo on YouTube, and yeah, she cut this out for me, and then I've had this for a while, a couple of months I think, and so I backfilled some of the hearts, no, all of the hearts I think I backfilled with the paper from Heart Day. Again, an older collection, but the papers work well. And then I had a couple of chipboard pieces from Heart Day as well. Again, this is just completely stash bashing, but I love the fact that I personally don't think it looks dated, which is one of the things that I think people do worry about with using older collections. I have no issue with that, and I don't think it does look dated. I went with the title Sunshine Bathers, and all I did with these white alphas is I used one of these Tri-Blend Spectrum Noir pens. It's an alcohol marker, and I just coloured in that, so it just made it pop a little bit more on the background. And again, these little puffy hearts and the puffy exos come from the Lucky Us by Pink Paisley puffy stickers. Another Disney layout, and this one was a super simple, very quick grid style layout, but I love how this one finished. So I had a vision in my head, and it came out exactly as I was expecting. Trying to get as many photos, backing of a frame dot there, I was trying to get as many photos scrapped on one page as possible. Obviously not this one, but trying to get more photos on the layouts rather than just a single photo every time, because I look at my albums and go, there's no way this is all going to fit. This is a little pocket, and this journaling spot here, again, there's quite a few bits of journaling I need to do on these before they go in the albums, but this is a great little place to add in some hidden journaling, and I just added in a few more bits of my stash again, and I really liked how this one turned out. I was a bit worried about how white the background was, but once it's in a page protector it'll be fine. This one here, again, another Sparkle City one, and this one I had was inspired by the random burger and chips ephemera that I had left in my ephemera pack. And I had these photos here from when me and hubby went to Burger King, and I had to get a hat. and so I walked outside of Burger King with my hat on. He was not very impressed, maybe a little bit embarrassed by me, but I titled this one Burger King and Queen. We do like a good burger, to be honest, so I made the most of that, and I think I got the rest of this paper used up as well, which is the holographic one from the paper pad. So yeah, really happy with that one. These ones are more recent, I believe. So this one here I did for a Quirky Kits live scrap along. I am on their design team, and I did this. I'm doing a live video on Facebook at the moment every Tuesday to use up the, or to use the Quirky Kit, and so this butterfly cut file came in the kit, so I backed it with some vellum. I did some mixed media in the background, mapped out where my butterfly was going to go, and then I added in 3 flower embellishment clusters from the Paige Evans Bloom Street. This is all Bloom Street, and yeah, I'm really happy with that one. This one here, there's a process video on my channel already for this one. This one was for UK scrap addicts, and it's to incorporate another hobby onto your scrapbook page. So there's a couple of things here. One of my hobbies, other hobbies, is crochet. So I made these crocheted hearts to incorporate on my page. I also like stitching, so the chain stitch is also another ode to my love of other crafts as well. I then just added in, these are brads, can you believe it? I added in some brads to attach some of them. I glued some of them down. I stitched some of them on just to create a few different effects. And then these are from another pack of thickers that I had lying around, like foam thickers. And yeah, I love how this one finished. I've messed around with this border quite a lot, trying to get it to how I liked it, but in the end I was pleased with this one. This one here was we were doing some this was the UK Scrap Addicts National Scrapbooking Day challenge that we set, and it was to scrap lift someone from the UK Scrap Addicts team. So I picked Zoe, who's in the photo. So I picked her layout to scrap lift, and she used the Chamel Field Trip, I want to say, on her layout, and she had 2 photos and all of her bits and bobs going across this way, and hers was a stamped border. So what I did is I grabbed out this floral stamp. It's stamped so well and it's so pretty. I grabbed out this floral stamp and I stamped the border. I didn't gut the middle. I thought I might have done. So it's all the way around here. I layered another bit of white cardstock. I think I cut this to 11 by 11. In the background, these are distress inks through a splatter stencil. So I took that element from Zoe's layout, and then the rest of this is everything that I fussy cut from the Paige Evans collection. I did a video on how to make your own DIY ephemera. So all my heart, oh my heart, should I say. So all of this has come from my box of goodies, and I have some other videos that I want to film using the bits that I've done. So everything on here has been fussy cut. None of it's ephemera or anything. And so I just love how this one came out. I used this fussy cut as part of my, this fussy cut as part of my title as well. And I titled it Go Go, but with extra sprinkles. And then I used these little letters for each of our initials as well. This one here was another one for Quirky Kits on the Facebook Live. And I took the technique that I learned in the Ali Edwards December Daily class, where we made these. Well, they were snowflakes, but I just liked the pattern and they look kind of like flowers to me as well. So I created these using Bloom Street, used a hexagonal photo as well, and added in some more of those florals. And then another little technique that I love to do is just use Nouveau drops as the centre of the flowers. It gives you some added texture and some added interest as well. This one here was another National Scrapbooking Day challenge, and it was to scrap lift someone's layout. This particular layout, I took inspiration basically from the torn papers at the top and the torn paper at the bottom, and then I just went my own way with it. I used Shimel Head in the Clouds for this, and I decided to use green alphas, which matches this paper here that's somewhat hidden. And I saw a quote that said, "Friends buy you lunch, best friends eat your lunch." And I thought, well, this is great. I'm just going to change it to craft supplies. So I added all of that in. I really love how this came out, my unicorns. So I put a unicorn on there as well. Now, this is a really old photo. This was from 2003. 24th of June 2003 this was from. So we with friends, we went and visited Buckingham Palace, and these photos have just been in my stash, and this was like one of those massive panoramic photos, so I trimmed it down a bit, and I used the Jen Hadfield Chasing Adventures collection for this one, which I haven't even broken into. And yeah, I'm just really happy with how this turned out. I tried to use this whole piece as a background, but it was just so busy, so cut it up, use smaller bits of it, but yeah, really pleased with how this one finished. Again, that was done for a National Scrapbooking Day, and that was a sketch challenge. This one here was a blind instruction challenge. So we were given the instructions, written instructions, and then we had to create the layout from it. So I love how the mixed media turned out in the background. I need to do this again. And yeah, I just love this. And again, Sparkle City comes to the rescue. Added in these alphas, and all these alpha words, and I just bent them around the photo to make it frame the photo. Added these little circles because it was a circle layout. These little dots are the bane of my life trying to get these used up. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how this one came out, and some mixed media. This one here was for another NSD challenge, and I just love this paper. This collection is My Favourite Story from Pink Fresh Studio. I just love it, and I just literally got it. I think I got it literally a couple of days before National Scrapbooking Weekend, so I decided to get it used for some layouts this weekend. So these photos here, very recent ones of me with my Disney ears, and I just want to document the fact that although we're stuck indoors, actually I'm making every opportunity to still live my best Disney life. These bows, I can't get enough of these bows, and I have one left now, but I do have a bow die, so I am going to hack this. Next up is this one here. Now, these photos were awful. The quality was horrendous. They were screenshots from a FaceTime call, and the video quality was horrendous anyway. So what I did was I turned the black and white. I printed several different frames of it, and then I layered these photos. Again, another NSD challenge. I'm just going to say these are all for NSD, unless I can think otherwise. I had a little bit of an accident with the sewing machine. The bobbin was threaded through the wrong way, and so it was giving me the back stitch on the front and the front stitch on the back. So yeah, it has a little bit of funky stitching here and here, but hey. Also, I tried to be frugal, and I tried to use the back of the cover page that comes with the paper collection. But what I didn't realise is it's not 12 by 12. It needs trimming down, so I'm going to have to take this off and move it up and trim it off and stick it back down again. What an idiot. So if you are going to use the backing paper, because it's a perfect piece of white cardstock, then be sure to trim it down first before you use it. This one here I used, all of these are from the paper from Bloom Street. I just cut them all out and laid them in rainbow order. Again, another Bloom Street paper in the background. Again, I've used Quirky Kit's kit to make this one. I added in, this title was Perfect Spring Sunshine. This was a photo from, I think, April last year. And then I just used some gold stitch from, this is the We Are Memory Keepers gold thread through the bottom of the rainbow. And yeah, layout done. A few white ink splatters. This one here is, it was a scrap lift, but I wanted to change it. I took the idea of having an element here and an element here, with a rainbow order, and I used the same as the paper, the rainbow paper that you've just seen, the other, she get 2 of each. So I then punched out all of these stars, and then I laid them, I've got some white star texture paste underneath first, and then I laid them by colour order, up here, the same colour over here, and then continuing up. Again, a couple of those bows, which are my favourite. And this is an old photo as well. This would have been 2008. So again, another old photo to get documented. Another layout from using the Pink Fresh, my favourite story collection, and it was to use a, it's a scrap lift, but it was a grid format. I didn't want for photos, I wanted my title as effectively one of the grid, 2 photos, and then my journaling. I love how the journaling looks on this with the doily, so pleased how that one turned out. This one here, I think there's a process video. I think I've done the process video on this one. I actually made this for Quirky Kit's live scrap along, and this was making a dream catcher, which took a while, but it was well worth it in the end. And I really love how this one turned out. Again, another Bloom Street collection. This one here, coming to the end. This one here, I did for NSD. I entered this into Coco Vanilla's National Scrapbooking Weekend as well. And I took inspiration from these little pink flowers that were in, it's just a Snapchat filter. My nephew never really likes to have photographs with me, boo. So I grabbed this photo. I printed this photo and thought I'm going to get it used. I remember these little pink flowers in the Coco Vanilla collections, and I think I used Happiness for this one, I think, and I just did some watercolouring on the background behind the cut file. Again, I backed the cut file with some vellum, added in some enamel dots, and yeah, I'm really pleased with this one. This one here was another scrap lift, but the the scrap lift, my version and the original version are completely different. The original version had a rainbow striped paper right here, strips of paper or washi here. I took inspiration from the strips, so I made these strips initially, and then I thought I'm just going to turn them into banners, and that's how my idea sort of came from there. And I thought, rather than an extra strip of paper here, because it's going to look odd, I'll put my journaling onto vellum, and then I will staple that on. And then just a single photo and a story about how I used to be in a business networking group, and I used to have to attend a meeting at 6 o'clock every Friday morning, which was not the one. This one here, I have again used up some of the leftovers from Oh My Heart, and again this was a blind challenge, and I was really nervous about how this was going to look, so I don't do a lot of pattern on pattern, but with adding some of distressed edges, adding some stitching, I actually really like how this one turned out. Yeah, as I said, just using up the bits from Oh My Heart. Nothing else has been added in here apart from the thickers from Girl Squad. This one here was a another NSD challenge, and I found a sketch on Felicity Jane, and it was like a grid style one, and yeah, I just made it work for me. So again, I've used the Pink Fresh Studio, my favourite story collection, and oh, look at the puppies cuddling. So yeah, I just documented that, and I've done a lot of stitching over this weekend. I've really found a new love for my sewing machine again. And then 2 more. So this one here I did again on another live for Quirky Kits, and I really wanted to make a whimsical layout, and there was a whole load of bees and flowers and butterflies and Wellington boots, and so I thought, right, I know that this collection was very spring, but I thought I'm going to try and make it more into a summer, because I've got more summer photos. So I say summer, it was September. So I've done this before where I've made sort of two mounds of like grassy area, and it just gives a great base to put the photo on. And I love the cloud effect. Again, it's not a new technique, but I just tried to incorporate everything I've done before. And then I just added in some of these fussy cut bees. Excuse me. Some fussy cut bees. This cut file here was a longer one. I cut it down, I watercoloured it, added some acetate behind the little windows, and then I just added a whole load of Wellington boots and flowers and enamel dots and kites, and then I just hand stitched some kite tails on here as well. And then this is the final one. So I made this one yesterday, which is why I'm filming the layout share today. So again, this is another one from Pink Fresh, my favourite story. And what I did was, this was already, this rainbow here was already on a piece, a white background. And then this other rainbow was this way. So I cut both rainbows out. I re-stuck them back down, but going this way in towards each other. And then I run it all through my sewing machine and put stitches through the top and bottom of each of these. And then originally I just had like a little cluster here, a cluster here, and then my title here. But I had all of these punched out stars that I hadn't used from the previous layout. So I thought I'm going to incorporate them. So some of them I stuck down just using some glossy accents. And some of them have got a little bit of foam, a really thin foam behind it. Just to lift it up slightly. The final challenge for National Scrapbooking Day for Hey Little Magpie. I've done all of the challenges over on there. Been super productive, and yeah, really pleased with the number of layouts that I've created. So thankfully I've kept my my scrappy mojo going. So yes, this is part 2 all over. I'm sure I'll have more layouts to share with you as well over the coming months. Again, if you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps my reach on YouTube. Other people will be able to find my videos as well. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section down below. Please let me know which one is your favourite layout as well. If you haven't seen part 1, then that was uploaded yesterday, so go back and have a look at part 1 as well. And if you're new, please subscribe, and I'll see you all really soon for some more scrappy inspiration. Bye!